Hey guys, welcome back. David D here from the Get a Clue Marketing Show. I just wanted to show you real quick on how to make a compelling YouTube thumbnail. Okay, and the first clue that you want to find out is what is the size of a YouTube thumbnail. Okay, it's 1280 by 720 is the minimum width that you need for your pixels. Okay, I recommend having a JPEG format because it's smaller in size when it comes to uploading, because you got to remember it has to be under 2 megabytes. So if you have a PNG, a bitmap, or a GIF, it's going to go way over this. So if you have a bitmap, a PNG, or a GIF, it's going to go way over the limit. So I like to use JPEGs. So let me tell you the two ways that you can create thumbnails. The traditional way is using a photo editing software or an image editing software. I happen to use Fireworks. I know people like to use Photoshop and things like that. And I'm also going to show you about Sony Vegas and how to make a thumbnail through Sony Vegas. Okay, so the traditional way is using, like I said, either Photoshop or Fireworks. And, you know, I took some images of different forms that I was standing in front of a green screen. And basically this is what people do. They use a wand effect, and they click on the wand. What the freak? So the traditional way of making thumbnails is using a image editing software. I happen to use Fireworks. And basically you come over to your wand, your magic wand tool, and you press on the green, and it's going to cancel out. You just press that on and hit delete. And you do that as many times as you can to get rid of all the green. Okay? Now this takes a lot of time too, because you're not going to get all the green out of it as much as you want. Okay? Otherwise you have to use a different effect. Otherwise you have to use a different effect like this eraser and erase all the green out of it because of the different shading and the different factors. Okay? So let's scratch all that. And let's go over to Sony Vegas, which I like to do. I like a lot of video editing software. So this is the finished product, and I'm going to show you step by step on how to do it with the green screen. Okay? So like I said, I took some images. I'm going to shorten that up a little bit. You're going to open up your effects window. The three main effects that I use is brightness and contrast. I use the color corrector, the chroma key when I'm standing in front of the green screen. And another thing I use is color curves. I'm not going to do that right now. That will be another video. Okay? So you want to make sure your contrast and your effects are good as far as your color corrector. If you're too white, you can always add a little bit of red to it, to your flesh, get that flesh skin. But here's the chroma key. I wanted to show you a couple cool tricks. Number one, you got this eyedropper here. You just press the eyedropper, press the green, and it darkens out the background. Okay, this is how people do that. The next trick I wanted to show you that I learned from a midget in England was the mask. Using the mask feature, you're able to white out the subject. Okay, and that's exactly what you want to do. You want to make sure the subject is totally white. Okay, that there's nothing, no pixelation, there's none of that. Okay, you can still see my image there. You can also mess around with the color scheme. Just move up and down the color to get it correct. Okay, that might be the best, and then you can still move the low and high thresholds to get it to that. All right, once you take off the mask, there it is. Okay, so now you can put any image that you want behind the subject. Okay, for this exercise, I'm going to move myself over here and not really in the center, so I have more room to work with. So I opened up my pan and crop effects, and I'm just going to move myself over to here. So I have more room. Let's go right there. So I got more room for my text, okay? Next thing you want to do, because you're using the color, the chroma key, you want to put your text underneath. So you would have to insert a video track, which I already did, and then insert text media, okay? So obviously you can see the text. Let me write something really cool here. How to create awesome thumbnail. Okay, you want to highlight all of the text. I like to center it. And then we're going to adjust this fonts. I like Glockenspiel. And then we're going to reduce the text size. And this is a great thing about Sony 11 Pro is you got these anchors here that you can adjust it to. Okay. Alright, so we're not going to keep it white because I want to put a white background on it. Okay, in order to do this, you go over to Media Generators, pick white, and drop it just underneath your screen. And obviously we can't see the text now. So we go to Text, we go to Text Color, and I like that burgundy, and I also like blue, so let's try the blue. Let's do a soft blue. Not too much of, and like I said, if you like another blue, you can always use this this eyedropper and clicking on a blue. You can use shadows. Now the thing of the internet recently over the last few years is everything is flat. There's no gradients, there's no shadows and things like that, but I kind of like to go against the grain a lot of times. Let's see. And even that's blurry. It's hard to read. So you can also use an outline to make the text pop out like that. Okay, and you can make the outlines as big as possible, or as wide as possible, I should say. Okay, so that's basically dealing with the text. You got your 1280. You want to make sure your project, is adjusted to 1280 by 720. You got your media, and that's it. That's as easy as 1, 2, 3, basically. Okay, so here's the other thing I like to do. We'll shorten this up because it doesn't have to be this long. Is you want to loop this, or you want to highlight it, and then you want to render it. We're going to render this under, let's see, 3. 3. And let me browse. You could put this on your desktop folder wherever you want. I'm going to do this. And let me tell you something, just a quick tip. It's good to have all your things labeled. All right? Okay, so this is like a miniature clip that you can put we are going to open that up under pictures, thumbnails. Okay, now I have what it's called VLC. This is a VLC player which can play basically any type of format that you can think of. I usually use the MP4 format, but this is definitely what I use. It's free. You can download it at the VLC. Just type in VLC download and you'll be directed to there. Okay, so I stopped it and I'm going to go over to video. I want to take a snapshot and it's going to save it to my desktop. Okay, one of the things that you can do with VLC, just a quick tip, is you want preferences and you want to save your snapshots. You can save it to whatever folder you want. I choose I choose desktop because I want that to I want to know where it goes right away. So I'm going to go to my desktop real quick. I'm going to look for it, and there it is. And that's how you do that. And that's how you create some really cool and so that's how you do that. That's how you create some really cool thumbnails that are going to get noticed, okay? Also, if you're doing a background picture, this is me at the beach. If you're doing a background picture without the chroma key, you want the text to be on the top of your clip, okay? So you just rearrange this. And that's really simple too, okay? But otherwise, I mean, you know, even with that, your imaging software, let's see, 1280, 720. When you're using your imaging software, remember that your resolution, the amount of pixels, should be high. I use 300. You want to scale this down so you can see it. You want to import. Let's say I want to import. We're going to use the JPEG. Always use the JPEG when you're doing this stuff because it comes out a lot crisper and it's a lot smaller, okay? So if you're using the image editing software like Fireworks or Photoshop, this is very easy too, okay? But this is only if you don't have a green screen. Okay, you come down here, choose your color, bam, center it. Ooh, I kind of don't like that. Let's lighten it up. Ooh, don't like that. Let's just choose white with a blue background. You can also do this too, doing a shadow. Makes it pop a little bit more. If you want to make it bigger text, you can do that. You can also crop it so it fills this area here. Because when it gets shrunk down, when it gets shrunken down on YouTube, you want to definitely make it legible, okay? It may look really big right here, but when you're scrolling through the when you're scrolling through YouTube, you definitely want to make it bigger, okay? And then I'm going to save this as a JPEG. Want the quality 100%. Smoothing, export. And let's see, we'll do this. Number 4. I'll show you what that looks like. And there's how you do that, okay? So either or. If you're using a green screen, you definitely want to use your video editing software for that, okay? because it's really easy to get rid of the green screen. But if you're doing, if you got a background like this and you don't want to use Sony Vegas, you can use your image editing software for that. Okay, I know I went long. I know it can be tedious at times, but those are the two ways that you can create some really compelling thumbnails for YouTube. Okay, so anyway, I hope this helped. Subscribe to the Get a Clue Marketing Show so that you can get some really cool features, and you can. So that's basically it. If you have any questions, just email me. You're welcome to do that. But if you want to find out more, subscribe to the Get a Clue Marketing Show here on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me at the GetAClueMarketingShow.com. And I go over, I've been doing a lot of product reviews lately, so that's a lot of what you're probably going to see on my GetAClueMarketingShow.com. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.